maybe you can give them a little information. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And so that's why I urge parents, communities, teachers, administrators, anyone who deals with young people, right? Doctors, so psychologists, therapists, social workers. If you're in any capacity that you're dealing with young people, I gave a talk earlier today and on Tuesday, and I always use this one chart that says that at 3 months old of age, babies are recognizing the differences in features on the faces of the people that they see. At 18 months, babies are recognizing the mannerisms of the people that they deal with. At 30 months, they are recognizing the differences in the way that people are treated. 30 months, you do the math, right? And so that's a little bit over, not quite 3 years old, but a little bit, over 2 years old. And what I know for sure is that our babies are watching and they are internalizing our every move. So if you are doing something that's racist, they're going to pick up on those mannerisms. And is there a high probability that they will begin to mimic those behaviors, right? So it's like if at home, if Billy Bob sends little Johnny Boy to school and he says, you can't play with Jaquan, right?
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
He's going to go to school and he might say something dumb to Jaquan and get his ass whooped. Or he might go to school and tell other little Karens and Billy Bobs and Joe Blow, tell them, oh, my dad said that I can't play with Jaquan. And I'm using names that we recognize community-wise, culturally-wise, that could potentially be a Black person versus a white person. And that's the stereotype. That's the behaviors that we have to be leery of. So then we become adults and everybody don't go to college and everyone doesn't get an ethnic studies class, right? And then we go into the workforce, right? And as we go into the workforce, we don't walk in on equal footing. And so there's this dangerous scenario that shows up. I might be aware of what a microaggression is, what implicit bias is. I might be aware of what racism is and ethnocentrism is. But Billy Bob, who heard his daddy John say, we don't mess with Jaquans of the world, he's going to say, yeah, we got power over you, but not know why. And so that's the divide. That's where we're split on things. And I totally believe that if we get to a place where we have shared language, shared values, and we teach kids from a very young age that these are the things that we are going to value in our culture and our community, then we can ward off some of these things in the future. Because I do every day imagine a future where young people don't have to heal from and deal with racialized trauma once they become adults.
Yes, and it's really difficult, I think, this dynamic of public school teachers being 80 to 90 some odd percent white, mostly women.
Yes.
A big problem of this process to me is relationships require, to build a good relationship requires a level of relatability. So you're bringing in teachers who don't live nowhere around these kids. There's such a gap in socioeconomic beliefs with the teacher and the damn student. So a lot of these teachers come from the suburbs or somewhere not associated with our neighborhood, and they come because that's always going to put like a wall in between us. There's always going to be a disconnect. And then these kids that was in that classroom, that's traumatic. How do they come back tomorrow and believe in the white teacher next door that they got for third period? Maybe she feels the same way now. See, because he told how he felt, but a lot of people feel that way.
Right.
He just let the cat out of the bag. So how can I trust that he's going to give his all to teach my child when he thinks he's better than him? You know what I mean?
And that's the dangerous part of this whole dynamics is that some people know some things and some people don't. I say you and I agree that two things can be right at the same time, right? But let's take it a step further. What we don't know, we don't know. But when we do learn something, it is our obligation. It is our duty to do better. I mean, I swear by that. I cannot, you can't unlearn something. I used to tell my boys, so I have 6 boys, my older 3 boys, I can remember when I was pregnant with my 5th child. And my two oldest boys were like, we're going to have a competition, Mama. You know how boys can be super competitive with one another. And they were like, we're going to have a competition. We wanted to see who's going to change the most diapers. And I looked at my husband and I was like, you do know that once they learn this skill, that Mama's going to be like, here, come change your brother. Right? So I say that in just as an example, to when you learn a skill, the reality of it is you can't unlearn it. It's like getting on a bike. Even if you ain't rode a bike for 20 years, you still know how to ride a bike.
Yep.
So the reality of it is we're sometimes in these positions where some people know some things and other people don't know things. And that's the dangerous part of the society we live in. You have all these people around this country who have been fighting over the past year, quote unquote, CRT, critical race theory. It's not even a thing that's ever been taught in public school from K to 12. However, it's something that we need to consider when we talk about race and power